I will be doing a quick tank review on the Chinese Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, the WZ-111. This vehicle, for the most part, it is okay. It is not that great nor bad. For the current time being, there is a rental period on the WZ-111, so you can try the vehicle out for free to see if you like the vehicle or not. This vehicle, as it is a premium tank, you can work on your Chinese heavy tank crew members in this while making extra credits as well. This vehicle also have preferred matchmaking, just like the IS-6, up to Tier 9 maximum. This vehicle, it is based upon features on the IS-3 and the T10 tank. A lot of the features come from the IS-3 and some from the T10. So, the WZ, for the most part, performs just like the IS-3, but being based upon those two vehicles and the Chinese modification done to the vehicle, you have some major weak spots in the front. The lower plate here, it can be penned easily enough, and the capless. If your gun have enough penetration, it can go through the capless easily enough and do damage through that means as well. Also, remember, the WZ have the same armor as the IS-3 and the T10 tank design. So try to use the pike nose armor effectively. The pike nose armor, if you want to angle it effectively, just have it facing towards the enemy tank. Do not angle left to right because that will reduce the effective armor on one side and increase the angling on the other. Now, let's cover the vehicle stats. The vehicle stats. Hit point wise, you have a good amount of hit points. 1,550 hit points. When you combine the armor value while using it effectively enough, you can ricochet a good amount of damage in a match. The vehicle weighs about 45 tons. That is okay for a heavy tank. It weighs a bit less than the IS-3 when it is fully upgraded. Now, this is where one of the flaws of the machine begin to show. The engine it have is a 520 horsepower engine. That means the machine will not have that good of a horsepower to ton ratio, but due to the chance of engine fire being at 12%, you have a lower chance of getting engine fires in this tank. The IS-3 here having a better engine means that the vehicle have a better horsepower to ton ratio to the WZ. The horsepower to ton ratio for the WZ, it is about 11.55 horsepower to 1 ton. That means the machine it is mobile enough. It is not a quick mobile heavy tank like the IS-3 is when it is fully upgraded. The top speed it is 50 km. That means most of the time you will only be able to reach the top speed whenever you are going downhill only. Most of the time, this machine it is not that quick, so you will have a problem from time to time reaching the 50 km mark. The hull and the turret traverse are okay at 26 degrees. The armor, it is quite good as it is based upon the IS-3 and the Titan design. That means if you angle the armor just right, you can ricochet a good amount of rounds. Remember, the pike nose. If you want to make use of the armor design, just have the pike nose facing the enemy. If you angle it too far to the left or to the right, one side of the armor is going to be increased even more, while the other side will be weakened. Remember that. The vehicle lower plate is quite thinly armored, so to reduce the chance of someone shooting there, try to get yourself into a hold down position. By getting yourself into a hold down position, hiding this and only showing the top part of the hull armor on the turret, means that you will have an increased chance to ricochet rounds, unless if the enemy gun can penetrate your armor. Remember, most Tier 8s and Tier 9 guns can easily pen this tank armor. The armor in the front, the armor value differs from part to part, but for the most part it is quite well armored. 120 millimeters in the front plus. The side armor, it is quite good. It is 120 millimeters, but due to how the side armor works here, just like the IS-3, if a round went into the tracks area here, the tracks will take the damage from the round, and the vehicle will take a zero damage. So that is pretty good. Real, it is 60 for the hull, so the real can be penned easily enough. But if you angle the rear armor well enough, especially the back angle parts here, you can ricochet rounds if a round hits this part as well. But it is 50-50 if a round will be penetrating this part and ricocheting. Back here, it can be penned easily enough. Turret armor, it is shaped like a rice bowl. That means the majority of the armor will be in the front here. So you can get a good amount of ricochets just by round ricocheting at the front of the turret armor here. It is 230 millimeters plus where the angling is applied differently across the turret front. The gun mounted have the most armor on the turret. Remember, the capitalist here is a weak spot as well. Side, it is 120, but it is angled enough still to get some ricochets from time to time. Rear, it is 60, so the rear can be penetrated easily enough. The gun itself, this is where another flaw comes up. You are using the same gun, the 122mm gun that is used on the IS-2. The rate of fire, it is okay, potentially up to 5 rounds per a minute, but the penetration, it is terrible. So you will have problem penetrating targets at a distance. To fix this issue, you have to get close up enough to shoot at the enemy tank, so you can penetrate the tank armor most of the time. If you know the weak spot of the enemy tank, the AP round can go through if you know where the gun can potentially pen most of the time. But the heat, it is good as well. 250 millimeters. Remember, heat only does the damage when it goes through and penetrates the armor. HE, this is a 122mm gun still. So, shooting HE from this gun, it is a good idea still, because the potential damage that you can do with this gun. This is a high alpha damage gun, so most of the time you can potentially get a lot of high damage rolls with this gun if a RNG is friendly to you. The accuracy is terrible, 0.46. So if you want to fully aim and hit at a enemy tank weak spot, you have to get up close and personal, or at least at a safer distance to actually get accurate shots due to the terrible accuracy. Same thing with the aiming time, 3.4 seconds. The viewing it is relatively good, 380 meters. The signal range for the radio is good as well for this TL, for a premium vehicle at 600 meters. Let's cover how are you going to be using this machine, the consumables, the ammo layout, and the equipment layout. Also, I would like to point out, now the two replays that I will be showing you for the WZ replays are from patch 9.13. Let's get to the how are you going to be using this tank. How are you going to be using the WZ? The WZ, it is just like the IS-3 here. So you will be primarily be playing this vehicle as a frontline vehicle, or as a support vehicle whenever you are not top tier. Either playing the machine as a frontline vehicle or as a frontline support vehicle, you can do quite well in this machine still. Now, the matchmaking. This vehicle have preferred matchmaking between tier 8 to tier 9. That means whenever the machine is top tier and you know what you're doing, you can do quite well in this machine. But whenever you are not top tier, you can do well enough still if you play to the vehicle's strengths and weaknesses. Let's cover the consumables first. I would go with a first aid kit for crew member injuries, a repair kit to repair module damage, and in case if the vehicle have engine fires, going with a manual fire extinguisher is a good idea. But if you want to use other consumables as well, you can use combat rations for the crew bonus, a large first aid kit for the permanent bonus if you're not going to be using it. Same thing with the large repair kit for the permanent bonus as well when it's not being used. The automatic fire extinguisher, if you can afford one and do want to use it, it have a nice permanent bonus when it is not used. It reduces engine fires by 10% even more. That is pretty good. Now, this vehicle carries a good amount of ammo. That means most of the time you are not going to be running out of ammo in this tank. The majority of the ammo I would be using, it is regular AP and heat. The regular AP, if you know the weak spot of the vehicle, you can pen the enemy tank easily enough. But heat, it's always a good idea to have some on you, just in case if you need to make sure your round it is going to penetrate the enemy tank, as the penetration value for the heat it is better compared to the AP. Heat, if you are going to be using it, it is 5,600 credits or 14 gold. Remember, heat only does damage if it penetrates the enemy tank. HE, as this is a 122mm gun, it's always a good idea to carry HE on you, because HE can do a good amount of damage still, especially if you can get the high damage rolls from the HE round when they hit a enemy tank. HE, if it does hit something, it would do a bit of damage still. The equipment that I have mounted is a toolbox to get my repairs done faster, the large caliber tank gun rammer to reduce the loading time. One thing I forgot to mention, this is based upon the Soviet tank design. The ammo rack can be damaged easily enough. Back to the equipment slots. The other pieces of equipment that you can add as well would be a vertical stabilizer Mark II to make the tank to make the tank gun more accurate when you are doing movements and turret rotation as well. Vents tool to get a crew bonus. Wet ammo rack if you want to reduce the chance of the ammo rack getting ammo racked. The enhanced gun laying drive to decrease the aiming time of the gun. View range enhancement, you can use them if you want to, coiled optics or binocular telescope. As this is a heavy tank, the camera rating it is not that good on the machine. Let go tool, the tool replays now, so I can show you how well you can do in the WZ tank. This replay, I will show you how you can effectively use the WZ armor to ricochet a good amount of damage in this replay. Let's get to the front line quickly. I am heading to the hill here. I think one of the vehicles on that side of the map tried to hit me, but it didn't go through due to the ankle armor I have on the side and rear. Now, I am supporting my team on the hill here. Seeing the IS-3 there, I tried to shoot at it, but looking at where it was, I could not shoot at it. That WZ, I missed it. I missed the T-34 there, I switched to HE. The good thing about the HE is that the WZ... The good thing about the HE is that the 122mm gun is that you will be doing a good amount of damage with it still. Because it's just a 122mm gun. The damage at the end of the replay will show that. Just for firing for the majority of the match HE. I am falling back here, trying to use the terrain to protect me as much as possible, but the Tiger II and the T-34 rounds are penetrating my armor. The T-34 there shot at my lower plate there. The lower plate is a major weak spot, so if possible, try to hide that. I am moving up to this rock here to try to hide my lower plate from the Tiger II. the T-34 there shot at the lower plate again. I fall back as I load. The HE damage, it does add up by the end of the match. Right now, I am in somewhat of a hold down position, so some of the rounds are going to be ricocheting, unless if they can overpenetrate the armor value. I am moving back and forth a bit, just in case if they choose to poke out and shoot at me. That Tiger there, I am trying to shoot at the Kepler. I am waiting for this T-34 to poke out, but seeing it not going to be poking out, I choose to focus on the Tiger. The round went through for the Tiger, and the T-34, I got a good rear shot there. The HE for the 122mm gun, if you can hit a weak spot with the HE, you can do a good amount of damage with it. Let's speed this up a bit. I don't have much HE left. I barely touched the AP and heat I have. That IS-3 there, I tried to shoot at it, but looking at the location, I cannot hit it because it is using the hill to cover itself from my viewpoint. Same thing with the FCM there. The rest of the team is at the base there. I missed the WZ there, trying to lead my shot where the WZ is going to be. I met a Ferdinand there. The FCM, I look to see if I can shoot at it. That round fell a little bit short from the WZ, so I continue to shoot HE at it. I am leading my next shot where the WZ is going to be. I'm not doing a lot of damage with the HE, but it does add up. I took about 1/5 of the hit points off of the WZ so far. Now it's down to half with the team assistance. This replay I did okay in. For damage, I did about 2,100 damage, mainly from the HE rounds alone. The damage that I blocked by angling my armor when I was on the hill there, I blocked about 2,200 damage. Let's go to the next replay. This replay, I will show you how well you can do in this machine. If you take advantage of the gun and try to aim at the weak parts of the enemy tank you are going up against. I am heading to the city. In the city here, I will be using the city buildings as cover to the best of my abilities. Using AP at this moment, shooting at the WZ would have had been better. It would have had probably hit the vehicle, not just destroyed the debris. That enemy WZ must have had hit the lower plate. Seeing I'm not going to be able to penetrate that WZ as I would like to, I switch targets to another WZ here. I try to aim at the weaker spot of the WZ, the lower plate there. That round hit the top plate. I aim at the lower plate here. Okay, I got a ricochet there from some other tank, don't know what it was. Now I am only showing the WZ, the side skirt of the vehicle, to increase the chance of ricochets. When I am loading, I am using this building here as cover. This is a bit risky what I am doing here to aim at the WZ. If that WZ just load HE, that WZ could kill me just with the HE run alone. I got a ricochet from some vehicle in the area. That vehicle was left on very low health, and the allied tank finished it off. That other WZ there that I was shooting at earlier, I fell back a bit, thinking it would have had gone forward, but no. The allies tank in the area finished it off. Now the rest of the enemy forces are around their base. The AT there, I fully aim in on the first shot. I got a good damage roll there. Trying to aim at another weak spot from here. That round went over the AT there somehow. I tried to switch to HE, but that AT was killed by the Centurion. This replay I did quite well. I did about 2,400 damage. Let's go to the garage now to do a brief recap on the vehicle itself. Let's do a brief recap on the WZ tank. As a premium tank, you have the advantages of it being a premium tank. It is a pretty good crew trainer. You are able to make a good amount of credits in the machine, and it have preferred matchmaking up to tier 9 maximum. This machine, it performs just like the IS-3, so there is not much of a learning curve between the IS-3 to the WZ-111. Remember, the lower plate is a weak spot that people can penetrate still. The gun depression for this gun it is pretty bad, just like the Soviet counterpart. This is a common feature among a lot of the Chinese heavies and the Soviet heavies as well. 5 degrees downward, 23 degrees up. The tank itself, it is quite good if you know what you are doing and play to the vehicle's strengths and weaknesses. This tank, it is currently a rental tank for the time being, so you can try the vehicle out for free if you like it or not. If you like the vehicle and want to buy it, you can buy it through the game shop currently. Overall, the vehicle itself, it is not a bad nor a good heavy tank at tier 8 for a premium heavy tank. I hope that you learn a thing or two about the WZ-111 and how to use it properly. If you like this video, leave a like, a comment, and even follow my channel as well. Good luck on the battlefield, everyone.